Welcome back to Mystery Minds, the channel where we dive into the darkest corners of true crime, uncovering stories that shock, intrigue, and leave us questioning the world around us. In today's case, we bring you a chilling and twisted tale, one of obsession, rivalry, and an online game that became all too real. This is the story of Noah Carter. A tale of virtual betrayal and real-world consequences. This case will leave you wondering, how far can online competition push someone? And how could a friendly game take such a deadly turn? Stay with us as we unravel the tragic and mysterious disappearance of Noah Carter. What happens when a rivalry born in the virtual world spills over into reality, leaving one rising star missing without a trace? In the high-stakes world of competitive gaming, the line between obsession and danger is razor-thin, and Noah Carter paid the ultimate price. Noah Carter was not your typical high school senior. While his peers spent their afternoons hanging out at malls or playing sports, Noah was building a name for himself in the virtual arena of Fortnite. From his modest bedroom in Denver, Colorado, Noah had cultivated a reputation as one of the most talented young players in the game. His streams drew in hundreds of viewers, sometimes even thousands during high-stakes matches. His skill was undeniable. His building speed, precision, and tactical play set him apart from the competition. Fans called him a prodigy, and even professionals took note. For Noah, gaming was more than just a hobby. It was a potential career, a way to rise above the monotony of small-town life. His dream was to break into the professional esports scene, where the stakes were high, and the rewards were even higher. The $250,000 Fortnite tournament on the horizon was his golden ticket. Winning would mean more than money. It would validate years of effort and late-night practice sessions. Noah had trained tirelessly for this moment, sharpening his skills and fine-tuning his strategies. However, success came with its challenges. As Noah's star began to rise, so did the envy of others in the gaming community. Among them was Ethan Marks, known online as Shadowstrike. At 19, Ethan had been in the scene longer than Noah, but he lacked the charm and finesse that had made Noah a fan favorite. The rivalry between the two began innocently enough, with light-hearted jabs and competitive banter during matches. But as Noah's popularity grew, the tone began to shift. The rivalry, once playful, began to take a darker turn. Shadowstrike accused Noah of cheating, fanning the flames of online drama captured the attention of their fans. Noah, however, dismissed the threats, focusing on an upcoming $250,000 Fortnite tournament that could cement his place among the gaming elite. Ethan wasn't just another competitor. He had his own following, and his fans were fiercely loyal. Many of them began accusing Noah of using cheats to climb the ranks, echoing Ethan's complaints during his streams. Although Noah ignored the allegations, they began to cast a shadow over his reputation. The accusations were baseless, but they created a toxic undercurrent in the Fortnite community. Rivalry, once a motivator, was now a source of stress. As the tournament approached, the tension between Noah and Ethan became more palpable. Social media lit up with debates about who would come out on top, with fans dividing into two camps. Ethan, fueled by resentment and a bruised ego, began escalating his behavior. What started as in-game trash talking spilled over into private messages and online forums. Noah tried to block out the negativity and focus on his training. He rarely mentioned Ethan during his streams, opting to keep things professional. But those close to him could see the strain. Noah wasn't just fighting for the tournament, he was fighting for his integrity, his standing in a world that often blurred the lines between friendly competition and outright hostility. Despite the growing animosity, Noah's excitement for the tournament remained strong. It was his chance to prove his worth not just to his fans but to himself. Yet, as the days ticked down, there was an unshakable sense of unease in the air. Something about the rivalry felt different this time. Ethan's behavior was growing more erratic, and the line between the game and reality seemed dangerously thin. By the time the tournament arrived, the stage was set not just for a battle in the game, but for a clash that would have consequences far beyond the virtual world. As the countdown to the Fortnite tournament began, the rivalry between Noah Carter and Ethan Marks intensified. What had started as competitive banter had evolved into something far more sinister. For months, Ethan had been harboring resentment toward Noah, watching his rise in the Fortnite community with growing frustration. Noah's meteoric ascent had left Ethan in the shadows, where he simmered with jealousy and bitterness. The $250,000 prize wasn't just an incentive for Ethan, it was a last chance to reclaim the recognition he felt had been stolen from him. Ethan's frustrations weren't kept private. On his streams, he vented to his audience, accusing Noah of being overrated, lucky, and even dishonest. These rants, laced with venom, attracted viewers who thrived on the drama. As his anger boiled over, Ethan took his grievances beyond the public sphere and into the private world of direct messages, accusing him of stealing his spotlight and ruining his career. What began as passive-aggressive comments quickly escalated into overt hostility. Ethan sent messages to Noah that grew darker and more threatening, accusing him of cheating, sabotaging his career, and stealing his spotlight. For Ethan, this wasn't just about a game anymore, it was personal. Noah, for his part, tried to brush off the harassment. He was no stranger to the toxic side of gaming culture, and he had always believed the best approach was to ignore it. His friends, however, were concerned. They warned him that Ethan's anger seemed excessive, even unstable, and urged him to report the harassment, but Noah brushed it off, believing it was just a part of the competitive gaming culture. Noah, focused on the tournament and determined to stay professional, refused to let the rivalry distract him. He believed that winning the tournament would silence any doubts about his skill and end the drama once and for all. Ethan, however, wasn't content to let the competition play out on the virtual battlefield. As the tournament drew closer, his behavior became increasingly erratic. He began posting cryptic messages on social media, hinting at exposing cheaters and taking matters into his own hands. "You won't make it to the finals," one read. While some fans dismissed these posts as nothing more than trash talk, others couldn't ignore the sinister undertone. Ethan's obsession with Noah was becoming more obvious, and it was starting to concern those who knew him. Behind the scenes, Noah was feeling the pressure. The tournament was a massive opportunity, but it was also a source of immense stress. The weight of expectations, coupled with the constant harassment, was taking its toll. His streams, once filled with excitement and energy, started to show glimpses of fatigue. Fans noticed that he seemed quieter, more focused, but also more withdrawn. Still, Noah kept pushing forward, refusing to let the negativity derail him. The rivalry reached its peak on the eve of the tournament. Noah received another message from Ethan, this time more ominous than before. It was clear that Ethan wasn't just intent on winning, he was fixated on ensuring that Noah wouldn't. Whether through the game or other means, Ethan seemed determined to undermine him. Noah, steadfast as ever, didn't respond. He had no way of knowing just how far Ethan was willing to go. As the final hours before the tournament ticked by, the gaming community buzzed with anticipation. Fans eagerly awaited the clash between Noah and Ethan, the two rivals whose feud had become the centerpiece of the event. But beneath the surface, something far darker was brewing. Ethan's obsession had reached a boiling point, and the stage was set for more than just a competition. What no one realized was that this wasn't just a battle for the prize, it was the beginning of something far more dangerous. The night of the Fortnite tournament arrived. Noah's moment to shine in the gaming world was buzzing with anticipation. He streamed live from his bedroom, focused and ready to win. Noah Carter sat at his desk, adjusting his headset and fine-tuning his setup. The glow of his computer screen illuminated his face, a mix of concentration and determination evident in his expression. Months of preparation had led to this moment, and the stakes couldn't have been higher. Winning wasn't just about the $250,000 prize. It was about solidifying his reputation as one of the best players in the world. For Noah, this was more than a game, it was his future. Fans flocked to his stream as the event began, the chat scrolling so fast it was nearly impossible to read. Viewers cheered him on, offering words of encouragement as Noah entered the early rounds of the tournament. His gameplay was as sharp as ever, and his focus was unwavering. Match after match, he outmaneuvered his opponents with lightning-fast builds and precise shots, climbing steadily through the brackets. It was a performance that reaffirmed why he was considered a prodigy. But as Noah progressed, another narrative began to unfold. Across the digital battlefield, Ethan Marks, known as Shadow Strike, was also advancing through the tournament. Ethan's aggressive playstyle and relentless determination carried him past his opponents, inching him closer to the finals. The long-standing rivalry between the two players was on full display, and fans couldn't wait for the inevitable showdown. Social media lit up with predictions and debates, the hype surrounding the event reaching a fever pitch. Behind the scenes, however, tensions were mounting. Ethan had been uncharacteristically quiet leading up to the tournament, his usual rants and taunts absent from his streams. To his fans, it seemed like he was simply focused on the competition, but those who had followed his feud with Noah knew better. Something about his silence felt ominous, like the calm before a storm. As the tournament neared its climax, Noah found himself in the semi-finals, facing off against one of the toughest players in the competition. It was a nail-biting match, with both players pushing their skills to the limit. Noah's chat exploded with excitement as he landed the final shot, securing his spot in the grand finals. The victory was hard-fought, and Noah allowed himself a brief moment of relief before turning his attention to the ultimate challenge, a face-off against Shadowstrike. His viewers cheered him on as he advanced to the finals, a face-off against none other than Shadowstrike. The grand finals were everything fans had hoped for. Two of the best players in the game, fueled by skill and rivalry, battling it out for the title. As the match began, the tension was palpable. Every move, every shot, every build was scrutinized by thousands of viewers watching from around the world. Noah played with his trademark precision, while Ethan brought an intensity that matched his reputation. But then something unexpected happened. Just as the match was heating up, Noah's stream abruptly cut off. The screen went black, and his chat filled with confusion and panic. Viewers assumed it was a technical issue, a glitch that would be resolved quickly. But as the minutes ticked by with no sign of Noah's return, concern began to grow. His fans were left staring at a blank screen, spamming the chat with confusion. His parents, who were home at the time, said they didn't hear anything unusual. At the same time, Ethan's stream continued uninterrupted. He played the match to completion, celebrating his victory with an energy that seemed almost manic. Meanwhile, Noah's absence remained unexplained. His fans, his family, and the gaming community were left in the dark, wondering what had happened. As the night wore on, the unsettling truth began to take shape. By morning, however, Noah Carter, the rising star of Fortnite, had vanished without a trace. What should have been the pinnacle of his career had turned into a chilling mystery. The gaming community, still reeling from the shock, had no idea that this was only the beginning. His disappearance sent shockwaves through the gaming community. How could someone vanish in the middle of a live-streamed tournament? The disappearance of Noah Carter sent shockwaves through both the gaming community and his small Denver neighborhood. When his parents realized he hadn't left his room the following morning and wasn't answering calls or texts, panic set in. His computer was still on, the Fortnite lobby screen glowing faintly, waiting for a player who would never return. The chair he had sat in during the tournament was empty, as if he had vanished into thin air. With no explanation for his disappearance, Noah's parents called the police, launching an investigation that would grow more complex by the hour. Authorities initially treated the case as a potential runaway. It wasn't uncommon for teenagers to leave without warning, especially those under the pressures of rising fame. However, as investigators examined Noah's room, they found no signs of preparation for a departure. His wallet, phone, and keys were missing, but his backpack and essentials remained untouched. It was clear that Noah had left abruptly, and likely not by choice. The gaming setup became the investigators' focal point. His computer logs showed that the stream had cut off suddenly, as if disconnected manually. But the deeper they looked, the more unsettling the evidence became. Digital forensics revealed traces of malware on Noah's system, a type of program that allowed remote access to his webcam just before the stream cut off in files. Whoever had installed it had been watching Noah, possibly for weeks or months, monitoring his every move. The discovery of the malware shifted the investigation from a missing persons case to something more sinister. Detectives began combing through Noah's online interactions, searching for anyone who might have had a motive to harm him. It didn't take long for their attention to turn to Ethan Marks, better known as Shadowstrike. The rivalry between Noah and Ethan had been highly publicized, and Ethan's hostile behavior was well documented. His streams were filled with angry tirades accusing Noah of cheating, and the private messages sent to Noah painted a picture of someone increasingly unstable. When police brought Ethan in for questioning, they were met with a mix of arrogance and defiance. Ethan insisted he had nothing to do with Noah's disappearance, and claimed he was playing the tournament from his own home. However, his alibi began to crumble under scrutiny. Surveillance footage from a gas station less than a mile from Noah's house showed Ethan making purchases on the night of the tournament. The items he bought, duct tape, gloves, and rope, were chillingly specific, raising more questions than answers. Despite the mounting circumstantial evidence, Ethan denied involvement, claiming the footage was unrelated to Noah's disappearance. While his behavior had raised suspicions, there was no direct link to prove that Ethan had harmed Noah. Investigators faced a frustrating lack of concrete evidence tying Ethan to a crime scene or placing him inside Noah's house. As the investigation progressed, another piece of disturbing evidence emerged. Noah's phone and wallet were found days later in a remote wooded area about 20 miles outside the city. Forensics revealed nothing definitive: no fingerprints, no blood, no signs of a struggle. The discovery only deepened the mystery, leaving detectives and Noah's family with more questions than answers. The lack of a body, paired with Ethan's vague alibi and the existence of the malware, created a tangled web of possibilities. Was Ethan responsible, or was someone else involved? Could the person who hacked Noah's computer have orchestrated the entire disappearance? Or was this the work of a stranger, capitalizing on the chaos of a public rivalry? The investigation was far from over, but one thing was clear: Noah Carter's disappearance was no ordinary case. With every lead, the line between the virtual world and reality blurred further, leaving everyone involved to wonder just how much danger lurked behind the screen. Days turned into weeks, and the disappearance of Noah Carter remained unsolved. Despite the relentless efforts of the police, search teams, and his heartbroken family, no trace of him was ever found beyond his phone and wallet, which had been recovered in a remote wooded area. The gaming community, once abuzz with excitement over the Fortnite tournament, now found itself consumed by speculation, theories, and an overwhelming sense of unease. The rising star of the competitive scene had vanished without explanation, leaving a chilling void that no one could ignore. Attention remained focused on Ethan Marks, or Shadow Strike, whose rivalry with Noah had taken a dark turn in the weeks leading up to the tournament. The gas station's surveillance footage showing him purchasing duct tape, gloves, and rope on the night of Noah's disappearance had raised more questions than answers. To the gaming community, the coincidence was too great to dismiss. Ethan's erratic behavior and long-documented hostility toward Noah made him the prime suspect in the public eye. Shadow Strike was arrested but later released due to insufficient evidence tying him directly to Noah's disappearance. Yet, despite mounting suspicion, there was no hard evidence tying him directly to Noah's disappearance. The items he purchased were unsettling, but they weren't illegal. He maintained that he had been at home during the tournament, streaming the game. His gameplay had been broadcast to thousands of viewers, and there were no interruptions that would suggest he had left. This alibi complicated the case, creating a maddening deadlock for investigators. Meanwhile, conspiracy theories exploded online, fueled by the mystery and the eerie circumstances surrounding Noah's last moments. Some fans believed that Ethan had orchestrated the disappearance, working with an accomplice to cover his tracks. Others pointed to the malware found on Noah's computer, suggesting that a third party had been watching him, possibly stalking him for weeks before the tournament. A darker theory even emerged that Noah had staged his own disappearance, overwhelmed by the pressures of fame and seeking to escape the public eye. But the evidence didn't align with the idea of a runaway. Noah had shown no signs of distress leading up to the event. He was focused, determined, and excited about his future in professional gaming. His disappearance was abrupt and unexplained, leaving his family and friends convinced that foul play was involved. Ethan's life began to unravel under the weight of suspicion. His fan base dwindled, his sponsors dropped him, and his streams were inundated with accusations from viewers who believed he was guilty. The once confident streamer now appeared paranoid and defensive, lashing out at anyone who questioned him. He continued to deny involvement, but the damage to his reputation was irreversible. As the months passed, the investigation slowed with no new leads to follow. Noah Carter's case became one of the internet's most haunting mysteries, sparking documentaries, podcasts, and endless Reddit threads dissecting every detail. The Fortnite community, once united by competition and camaraderie, was left divided with no resolution in sight. To this day, the fate of Noah Carter remains unknown. His disappearance serves as a grim reminder of how the digital world can bleed into reality in unexpected and often terrifying ways. The rivalry that had once captivated fans became the centerpiece of a tragedy, one that left more questions than answers. Did Ethan Marks cross the line from rivalry to obsession, or was someone else lurking in the shadows, watching and waiting for the right moment to strike? The answers remain buried, leaving Noah's story as an unsolved enigma, a chilling tale of fame, rivalry, and the unseen dangers that can hide behind a computer screen. Noah Carter's disappearance is a haunting reminder of how the lines between our online and real lives can blur, sometimes with tragic consequences. Was this the act of a rival pushed to his breaking point? Or is there another shadowy figure still out there, hidden behind a screen? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And remember, in the world of competitive gaming, the stakes can sometimes be more than just virtual. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay safe.